Marco Luciano, welcome to the show. Is Jose Quintana worth an ad? Join us today as we provide you with the best players add into the weekend on today's action-packed episode of Locked On Fantasy Baseball.
You are Locked On Fantasy Baseball, your daily fantasy baseball podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, fantasy baseball fanatics, and welcome to Locked On Fantasy Baseball Podcast, brought to you by the Locked On Sports Network, your team every day. As always, we're your number one host for your fantasy baseball knowledge, and thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. I'm your host, Matthew Ane, and you can find me at Matthew_Ane. And you can find us on all social media platforms and podcasting apps. Please leave us a 5-star rating on Apple and Spotify or wherever you may listen. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe bell below. Subscribe to the channel so you get all notifications for when we post a new episode. Also, please subscribe to our subtext for a more in-depth personalized experience with Locked On Fantasy Baseball. And quite honestly, it's been a great time getting to know everybody over there. So, check us out. But all right, guys. We have an action-packed episode for you today. Let us be your secret weapon as we go into the weekend to help you manufacture that win. And we got some good names for you today. And might as well start off with the boy who got the call today, and that's Marco Luciano. Marco Luciano, prospect for the San Francisco Giants, was one of the guys that got off from Dominican Republic. My guy has finally gotten his shot in the bigs after floating around between A, double A, single A, rook ball, all that wonderful stuff. And this year's had two promotions from double A to triple A, now all the way to the bigs. In double A, kind of struggled a little bit in the batting average category. He had about a 228 batting average. He did have, 11 home runs, 32 ribs, 32 runs. Like, he looked pretty good in the counting stats aspect with 6 stolen bases. When he got the promotion to triple A, my guy kind of went ham through 24 at-bats. He had 5 runs. He had 2 doubles, 2 bombs, 3 ribs, no stolen bases, but 3 walks to each strikeouts, batting .292. Now, it's a small sample size, don't get me wrong. Luciano really doesn't scream like this, world beater, phenomenal prospect. But hey, coach was so anxious to get this kid up that, you kind of want to see what the coach was seeing in him, because, they're there down at the ball club at all times, and they kind of evaluate these players and say, this kid's getting the call or not. So they see something that Luciano is doing. So I say he's worth a speculative ad. Not my favorite name out of all the bunch. Kind of hit up the Diamond Club today and said, hey, this kid's up. You might want to add him to see what the speculative ad, see what this kid's going to do in the bigs. We'll see what's going on here, what Luciano can bring to the table, and we'll find out pretty quickly whether he's going to be able to cut it or not. And if you do add him, you might be dropping him by Monday, or you might be saying, wow, I got this kid nice and early and he's going off. But honestly, right now, I would definitely consider it if you got the room and you're looking for a shortstop. But all right, let's move on here. Let's talk about Mr. Will Benson. Will Benson is another guy got the call this year for the Reds. My guy's having a nice little season so far, with 146 at-bats, 26 runs, 7 doubles, 4 triples, 7 bombs, 19 ribs, 10 stolen bases, batting about 288 on the year. I love those numbers. I like seeing those numbers from rooks. I love what he can bring to the table here so far in his, small stint in the bigs. What he's done over the last couple of weeks. I want to pull that up for you. So last week he did have a monster week. He had 4 runs, 2 bombs, 7 ribs, 2 stolen bases, batting about 353. It seems like he's turning a corner here. I mean, we all know what the Reds are doing right now. It's kind of really wonderful here. I love what the Reds are doing, just bringing up every single young kid that they possibly could imagine. And it seems to be working for them, between them and what do you call it, the Baltimore Orioles. I mean, how don't you just love the fact that they're just willing to call up all these young guys. It's really exciting time for baseball. But let's move on here. Let's talk about Mr. Luis Rengifo, the Geef himself. Geef had a nice week. This last week he has 5 runs, 3 bombs, 5 ribs, 368 batting average. I'm loving it. Let's see what this kid could do. He's kind of a ride the wave Swiss Army knife with second, third, short, and outfield at 9% owned. Like, quite honestly, today for you guys, if you have a same day ad, a lot of teams are off. So I'm getting smoked. I'm playing Dom, funny enough. Tomorrow he has like 6 guys going against me where I only have 3, and I really don't have the room to drop anybody. I wish I could add a Swiss Army knife of Rengifo, kind of give me a little boost, especially with the way he's playing this right now. And I don't want to ride the hot hand and ride the wave all the way to glory this week. So Rengifo, the way he's performing, might be able to, take you over the edge and help you out in the counting stats categories over the weekend. So I would definitely add this guy 100%. You'll find out in the Diamond Club where we're actually ranking this kid. But let's move on here. So about Nolan Jones, another recommendation by us. The kid has just been going bonkers here since getting the call this year. I'm pretty impressed. Nolan Jones has just been solid. This last week, the batting average ain't great, but he's hitting in cores, so you got to love that part with 2 runs, 2 bombs, 5 ribs, a stolen base, batting 235. Like I said, not the greatest in batting average category, but over 2 weeks, he's had 4 runs, 4 bombs, 8 ribs, a stolen base, and 219. Like, I don't care about the batting average at this point. He's just putting up counting stats, and counting stats are hard to come by off the waiver wires too. So it's kind of like the exact opposite. He's more of just like a ride the hot hand, like a Joey Gallo-esque type pickup right now. It's crazy though, because he's just having a cold batting average month, but he's hitting 275 on the year. So I kind of just want to see if he can return to the mean where he gets that really nice batting average, maybe in the 250 range, and then we really got somebody that's putting on a show here, especially with half his games from here on out being in Colorado. So Nolan Jones does pose to have a lot of fantasy value. All right, let's move on here. Sorry, this is lightning round without Dom. There's nobody to take the other half of this. Dom's celebrating his brother's birthday tonight. So, happy birthday, Aunt. And, I'm here to do the dolo and let Dom enjoy his night with his brother. So let's talk about Mr. Alex Kiriloff. Kiriloff, I think is finally learned how to stay healthy to an extent. Even though now you look at it and my guy's finally going back to the phalanges thing where he has a sore shoulder. He sat out today. But who knows? There's no real diagnosis. They didn't, put him in the IL. He just has a day-to-day. Keep an eye on it. If you see the day-to-day tag get pulled, honestly, I'm heading the kid because this last week, outside of the batting average, hasn't been great. He had 3 runs, 2 bombs, 7 ribs, and he was batting about 200. But the week before, he mashed the ball like crazy because in total over the 2 weeks, he had 7 runs, 4 bombs, 14 ribs, batting 283. So it was a real hot week. So really, he just couldn't get it together in the batting average category. So, that happens sometimes. This is the new age baseball where, guys just can't put things together and can't help but chase and just strike out. But it is what it is. As long as they're putting up counting stats, I could really see him taking off here and just seeing what's going on with Kiriloff. I'm going to take that shot whether he's having batting average or not because, hey, counting stats are there. Let me not keep speaking in circles here. And let's tell you about these next couple guys coming up here. So we have a pitcher from Houston. We have a pitcher that, again, still didn't think he was going to be in the league, and a pitcher from San Diego that is coming up that I think you guys are going to be really interested in adding this week. But before we do, it's officially summer and a new season means new clothes. But your closet shouldn't be the only thing growing when you make those purchases. Now, you can also watch your cash back grow with each and every purchase with Ibotta. Ibotta gives you cash back on hundreds of grocery items from produce to personal care to pantry goods, so you make sure you're beating inflation no matter what you're purchasing. Either you link your loyalty accounts or upload your receipts after you shop and get your cash back. It's super easy. The average Ibotta user earns $120 per year. that could be a cost for, an entire shopping trip, or, if you have your eye on a flight that you want to take, or, just a game or a concert you want to go to, this money can go to it. It's really great with Ibotta. And quite honestly, I mean, $120 doesn't want that back a year. And I mean, hey, I have a household, and quite honestly, if I can get that money back, even just a hair, I would love that. So right now, Ibotta is offering our listeners $5 just for trying and using the code MLB when you register. So make sure you use that code MLB and just go to the App Store, Google Play Store, and download the free Ibotta app. Use the code MLB. That's IBOTTA in the Google Play or Apple Store, and use the code MLB. It'll get you that cash back and that $5. So, check it out. Why not, right? Dear everydayers and new listeners, we have an incredible opportunity for you to support the podcast. And if you're enjoying the show and you want some more fantastic perks, you want to check out the Diamond Club here on Subtext. By becoming a member, you not only contribute to the show and the show's success, but you also gain access to exclusive benefits. Get your hands on waiver wire rankings, call-up alerts, injury updates, instant reactions, and direct access to us for all your burning fantasy questions. Plus, you can try it out for free for 14 days. Your support means the world to us, and we can't wait to connect with you on your exciting fantasy journey here. Join the Diamond Club today on Subtext. Let's take your fantasy baseball experience to new heights. And guys, I'll also too, if you haven't been listening, you're new to the show, if you want to get in next year's listener league, this is the perfect opportunity. What you want to do is just sign up for the Diamond Club within the next month, and at the end of August, we're going to announce who gets that first slot, and we'll start rolling from there and start giving out these spots in the listener league from now till obviously the beginning of the season. So you want to get on that very first Locked On Fantasy Baseball listener league. It's going to be great, guys. Sign up for Subtext too. I think you guys are really going to benefit from it and also enjoy it. Sorry for the screaming kid too. Can't help that. But all right. Let's move on here. Let's talk about some pitchers. Let's get out of the bats. Let's talk about some pitching. Let's get in the groove of things here. Sorry, I've been so soft tone. Mowing the lawn kicks my butt harder than anything else. You know what I'm saying? So let's do this thing. All right. Mr. JP France, pitcher for the Houston Rockets. We've been talking about him a boatload, and so far on the season, he hasn't been too atrocious. His average ERA on the year is a 2.87. He's pitching well above board, quite honestly, because his FIP is about a 4.33. So I think a strong negative regression is coming. But let's put it this way. My guy is going up against possibly, what is it today is good. So he might be going up against Tampa. So he might be able to handle them. He handled Texas pretty well. And I mean, their same caliber, and Tampa Bay has kind of been sliding off a little bit from their elite start. So quite honestly, I think that, JP France might be able to go out there. He's not going to put up a whole bunch of Ks. Like, that's just not his MO. Like, on the year, 84 innings pitched, 58 strikeouts. So like, if he walks away with not giving up a run, or maybe just one, keeping that whip nice and low like he has been, and get you the W and 3 Ks, like, I'm happy with his performance. Like, job well done, good pickup. And, you just kind of move on from it. Getting the win sometimes is something that's hard to predict, but Houston just rocking and rolling. I mean, there's a good chance they could beat Tampa Bay. So I would love to see JP France on your lineups for this weekend if he does get the start. All right, let's move on here. So Mr. Jose Quintana, again, a name I really did not think I was going to be talking about this year. Every time I bring up his name, excuse me, I just get surprised. It's just wild to me. But hey, at his age 34 season, his umpteenth season, not having a bad outings. Quite honestly, my guy has 5 innings pitched. He has 3 strikeouts, a 3.6 ERA, and his FIP is a 2.08. So I like that. Fielding independent pitching. Sorry, I didn't explain it with the last one, but that's a predictive stat that helps me kind of see where he's actually pitching if he had an average level defense behind him. So he's really performing well right now. He's going up against next. Let's find out real quick. And while I'm doing that, I'll just kind of ramble. Quintana, honestly, is one of those guys where you're just like, hey, like, when he's good, he's good. When he's bad, you drop him. So we'll see what happens. His last start wasn't that hot against the Yankees, but who is, with a 10.8 ERA. But his next start should be, well, that's today. So he may get it Sunday against Washington. If not, it is what it is. Sorry, I'm not so prepared. It's one of those things where I didn't expect his name to be rolled out today. I didn't pick some of these names, so it is what it is. I apologize in advance, but let's move on here. Jose Quintana, I still think you should add because of the way he's performing, even though that one start, I mean, who would have started him against the Yankees anyway? But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Mr. Seth Lugo. Mr. Lugo here has had a decent season, pitching pretty good, pretty much on par with his FIP. He has a 3.72 ERA, and his FIP is a 3.67. So, if anything, has a little bit of improvement coming his way right now. So I like that. The WHIP is somewhat decent with a 1.26. I would like it a little bit lower, but it is what it is. But Lugo is, doing his thing. He's right under about a K per nine. He's about 75 innings pitched to 71 Ks. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's see if Dom gave me a guy that's going to pitch this weekend versus, today. So he pitched today, but he did have a good start against Pittsburgh. 7 innings pitched. He had 8 Ks, a 2.57 ERA, and a 0.43 WHIP. So Lugo is still rocking and rolling. He's been solid over the last 2 starts. Philly hit him around on July 16th, but I mean, Philly's hitting a lot of teams around. So, he's a matchup guy. We'll see where he goes. I think he should be added. It's about 40% owned. It's hard to find a good pitcher out there on the waiver wire. I think he's one of the guys that, like, I kind of, out of a lot of these names, I'm kind of feeling okay with rolling out. It's kind of, for me at least, JP France and Seth Lugo, and then maybe one other guy, and then it's kind of a crapshoot between the pitchers. But, I think Lugo can give you the best chance to win. So let's see where that journey takes us with Lugo. All right. But let's move on here. Let's talk about Mr. Kevin Ginkel here. Kevin Ginkel, a guy I'm really not too familiar with, other than the fact that he's gotten some saves as of late. Right now Ginkel hasn't been the closer over there, but hey, it is what it is. He has had 1 save opportunity, 2 save opportunities within a week. So I'm going to say, hey, he may be the next guy up. That's, going to get the opportunity in these high leverage situations. So, take a look out for Ginkel, and maybe he'll tank a tinkle on the other team. We shall see. But, you can't really pass up on anybody that's getting saves right now at this point. If your closers are hurt, or if they just didn't hit, or if you just kind of punted it, you can kind of stream this with Ginkel as a good streaming candidate until he's not getting it. And if you're in a holds league, hey, if he's not getting used in high leverage situations, he's going to be used in hold scenarios where you're going to be able to, go and pick up that at least. So Ginkel could be a great add. And before we talk about our last guy here, I have one more break for you. And you're going to want to stick around for after this. All right. And we're back. We're going to talk about this one last guy here, Mr. Johnny Cueto. Cueto, Mr. Old Man Sanders here. My guy's been around this league forever. Age 37 season here with Miami this time around. My guy is a journeyman for sure. He is just, pitching okay. He's a 4.5 ERA. His FIP is a 5.28. His WHIP is nice, at least at a sub 1. He has about 10 innings pitched to 9 Ks. So, I mean, that's kind of nice through his first, I would probably say, 2 starts, I would assume. I'm getting his whole thing up right now. So, yeah, through his 2 starts, he went out at Baltimore, went 3 innings in his first start for the season, 1 K, didn't give up a run, 0.67 WHIP. Then went to Colorado, had Colorado, gave them 8 Ks, a 1.5 ERA, and a 0.5 WHIP. And the reason why we're really mentioning him is his matchup against Detroit this week at home. Detroit has been so up and down, and quite honestly, there's not too many bats in that lineup I'm really scared of outside of Riley Green. So I think Cueto could go out there and handle them quite well. And if he gives up a run or 2, he's still not going to blow up your ERA and possibly come out and get you the strikeout upside. So, we talk about manufacturing a win. Johnny Cueto could be the guy that can help you manufacture the win in the Ks category and possibly even in the win department and keep that ERA down for you. So Cueto could be a very beneficial one. Long-term, zero benefits at all. I think that he's just going to be a straight, streamer pitch and ditch guy for me, where I'm only going to play him against certain matchups and things like that, especially as he goes on in the season, I think he's going to start breaking down like he always does, and he'll start getting exposed. But right now, great matchup. Why not add him and see where it takes you for the week and try and manufacture that win with Johnny Cueto? All right, guys. It's always lightning fast with me. Thank you for hanging in there. Sorry, lackluster of energy tonight. I apologize. Tomorrow I will be much better spirits. But that's all for today. Be sure to subscribe, like, rate, comment, and review. Thank you for making us Locked On Fantasy Baseball your first listen each and every day. And take a look out for tomorrow's episode when I think we're going to finish up with our trade deadline, since there's already been a trade made today where Florio has gotten traded. So if you want to hear more, you want to see more, you want to check it out, make sure you subscribe. And that's it for today, folks. So peace.